TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Good morning and good morning. Welcome to today's edition of Island Tea. It is the 26th day of January 2026. Wow, matching numbers. Just to remind you that we are on the FM dial at 98.9. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. If you wish to bring something pressing to the fore, join in on the conversation. Our local number is 466-0989 in the U.S., 1-305-921-4619. Or 1-718-285-6984, or in the UK 0333440065. If you wish to advertise with us, just to remind you of that number, our sales office 466-9586. Quint, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, and as I said to you, you look sweet this morning.
Oh, that is so. Listen, that is so nice. And I said a big thank you to Quinn, so I'm going to say a big thank you again so the listeners can hear. Anything to bring to the fore? Because what I have to bring to the fore, people might say, oh boy. But I don't know how much of social media you've been watching. Go ahead, Quinn.
I'm going to let you go first because usually I'm the one who's bringing things. So.
Really? No, I bring a lot.
I'm the one who's bringing controversial things, and that's what I meant to say.
Okay. They might say mine is controversial today.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, so you're giving me some, I'm taking some controversial heat today. So, I don't know how much of it you've been watching. I think Mr. McMahon would have mentioned it before, about the Haitians in Bahamas.
I might have vaguely kind of remember, but I'm not too sure.
You see how many, oh my gosh.
Oh yes, I remember now with the Bahamas thing, yeah.
They're making noise. They're like, they want to protect their birthright, so they don't think if you're born there and you have Haitian descent, you should get a passport. They say the Haitians are taking over the Bahamas. The political parties basically they're claiming every day you open a newspaper, you see like at least 10 to 12 of them being issued citizenships, because I think once they give the citizenship, they put it in the newspaper. I didn't even know newspapers still exist, because I see newspapers in Best Buy at Bird Rock, nowhere else. I was like, wow, newspapers still exist because people don't.
You know, when this happens, Scott Tennessee, I wonder why is it that we make so much noise when Trump says he doesn't want you in his country.
But, but is everybody don't want people in their place, especially those people. Like the Haitians have until the 3rd of next month to be out because they might get the same treatment that's been being handed out to those folks in Minneapolis. Because you see, imagine they say you have permission to carry. Instead of taking away your gun from you, they just pack some bullets in you and call it a day and claim that you were pulling your gun on them.
Look, the world must realize, and the Caribbean especially must realize, the reason why we're having this big influx of Haitians is because things are not good in Haiti. If things are not good in a country, people tend to try to get out and see where they can get a better life. If the Caribbean moves together in unity, truly making Haiti a better place for its people to live, they won't be trying to come out all over the place. Why did we as a Caribbean people flock to the Virgin Islands and so forth? Because we saw hope, we saw potential for advancement. So why is it now it's a sin for the Haitians to do? If you don't want the Haitians in your country, then make their country better. Simple as that. Go work with other people around the world, other more developed countries to earnestly, and I say earnestly, make a difference in Haiti. If you make a difference in Haiti where they have better schooling, better housing, better opportunities for jobs and advancement, they wouldn't be flocking out. But it's horrible. And France and the US are, France, US and Britain are the main culprits. So recently when it had this meeting with the economic conference and whatever, and I heard Macron, from the time I saw the man heading to the podium, I just turned the damn volume down, you know? Because he's talking about, we don't want Trump and the US to be doing what they're doing in the hegemony and that kind of stuff. Look back in your history books. Mr. Macron, look into your history book. It is one of the most despicable and dastardly histories in humanity. These damn hypocrites, you know.
Lord, I didn't mean to get you fired up, but I have a few clips here. Well, I want to start with Auntie Mia, of course. You know, Auntie Mia is in election fever down there. I see they have songs with Auntie Mia. Auntie Mia taking a jig like Uncle Ralph did. Oh. You know, but I want to start with what she has to say. So
we have a caller. Let's see.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on ILT. Good morning.
Grand rising, guys. Grand rising to the listeners.
Grand rising.
Hortensia, get Quinn fired up. Get him fired up.
I don't want to do that.
It's a clarion call for we, Hortensia, Quinn. It's a clarion call for us to rewrite our truth. We have to create our own edifice of power, our own edifice of autonomy and strength. I mean, in our school days, we always heard Europeans, Americans telling our story. We have to create our own narrative now. There's a clarion call for us to rewrite our truth from their lies. I mean, imagine Nigeria have a military army that takes command from France. And they think that they're serving Nigeria. Guys, with this era of information, ignorance is a choice, because if we stay complicit and passive, we're just giving them the okay to continue what they've been doing to us for centuries. There's a clarion call right now for Africa and Africans globally to unite. I mean, and we cannot unite without being knowledgeable of who we were. Africa was the heartbeat of global economics. Europe and America have destroyed that.
But
they
Journey,
not only colonize us,
but Journey,
they have also...
Journey, if you check,
yes.
I concur with what you're saying, but I was listening to, as I said, I was listening to this economic conference, and I have two clips from the Canadian leader, right, that I'm going to play over in voices once, Socrates doesn't come, which I don't think he might. And when I listen to the Canadian leader, I agree with everything that he's saying. But he, again, another hypocrite, you understand? And
Yep.
the point I'm looking at is this. He's saying Europe needs to unite. We need to stop this American, well, he didn't say American, but we know who he means, right? This world hegemony and that kind of stuff, right? And I'm thinking to myself, can't our Caribbean leaders listen to these people and understand what we've been saying all the time to them, that they need to unite? So now the big developed countries are thinking to unite and forming alliances, and these fools down here are still trying to go it on their own.
Oh God, don't.
But how long have
That's
we
rough.
been listening to them talking about eradicating world hunger and bringing peace? How long? I grew up hearing these things from the age of 12. They're trying to eradicate world hunger and bring peace, but this, I mean, what have changed? What have changed? When they're talking about peace, they're waking up each day to go into their lab to develop weapons of death, nuclear weapons. I mean, what civilization strive on creating weapons that would destroy the planet and the inhabitants of the planet? But this is their nature, this is their culture, because they are warlike. And right now, Quint and Hortensia, I take no, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to choose my word correctly, but let me just say, the sooner they consume themselves with their wars, planet Earth would be at peace. But some of us have become warlike like them. Because Journey been saying that we are gods and goddesses, but some of us have become devils like them.
But Journey,
Because we are not oppressing ourselves now. We are killing ourselves.
if we do not become warlike like them,
And take us out, right?
they will kill us all. So I agree with you that we shouldn't be getting at each other.
Yeah.
But it's this kind of, for 400 years we have just been passive and we've been loving them, and you listen to the songs of the 50s and the 60s soul songs, and you hear black people singing unity and so forth.
Just a minute. You see that word you just used, passive?
Yes.
Because they gave us religion and placed Adam and Eve in a garden, and they were passive. Adam and Eve was placed passive. They were controlled. And that is what is playing out with us, because in as much as they tell us this is the word of God, it is the word of man. And they are the gods behind these words, because we have become passive and we are controlled. Africa, within the African space, was the hub of economics. We had a civilization that they envied. It's not just our resources. They have destroyed all of our landmass. And look at it today, guys. They can tell us that God gave Moses a command in 10 in the tablets of stone. But God required man to write his word. I mean, guys, let us activate our brains. This book that we gravitate to.
And Journey, you see that point that you just made about the tablet that was given to Moses? If you read that scripture and you analyze it, that tablet was so holy that when Moses came down, and because of what he saw his brother doing, he shattered it. And you see the punishment he got? He wasn't able to see the promised land. But now man is telling us, they're coming with their version and telling us God bring it. But you see the difference? When the one time when God inscribed something, you had to go way up into a mountain in secrecy and get it.
Not only that, Quint. Not only that. There was no witness there between Moses and God. There was no witness.
Yeah.
You know? And yet we believe all of that.
Hortensia wants to say something.
But wasn't that the way it was always, where the chosen person of God went into God and then came back with a message, just like how the pastors of today?
But it was written. That's what we're saying. It was inscribed by the hand of God.
Yeah, but...
Hortensia.
Hi.
They use colorful words, Hortensia. These are subtle people. Remember, let us look at their geographic space compared to ours, right? When Africa had kingdom and queendom, where were they? They were dwelling in the caves. They were dwelling in the caves, Hortensia. Now, how they could come out now and imitate us, slaughtered our ancestors, and now come to tell a story? You think they're going to tell us the truth? Knowing what they did to our ancestors? And for those of us who think that our ancestors gave up, our ancestors put up resistance. There are so many queens who put up resistance, Queen Nzinga, and so many others that put up resistance against foreign powers. But we didn't learn about them in school. Guys, this is time for us to wake up. We have to wake up. I mean, wrong is wrong if a million people is following it, and right is right if one person. And Journey is saying, we as a body need to be a collective. If we come up, we cannot go up against them individually. We have to unite. And our unity requires knowledge. Knowledge of who were before us. Because these creatures was in the caves while we had our civilization that they destroyed. I'll leave it there, guys.
Okay, you
All
take
right.
care.
Thank you for your contribution as usual.
Greg likes to come and say, oh, well, and the only way is to have Christian people in the lead and
According to the Bible, so I have to go with him for that.
yeah, but it is a particular Christian pope who decided to destroy almost all of the knowledge,
The original one?
yeah, that existed in the library in Alexandria, right? A particular Christian pope, I can't remember his name, right? He decided, because they said it was heresy, it was witchcraft, it was all kind of stuff. And Greg, who is supposed to be well researched and well learned, he comes on and he denies it. He says he will say, oh well, there's no history of that. I mean, the man will blatantly come and say there's no history of that when it's there. One particular pope who decided when they saw all of the stuff in the books that they themselves couldn't understand. And some of the stuff that they saw, they said, no, this is impossible. This is and you can't do that. That is witchcraft and heresy and destroy all. You know where we could have been? And they're still destroying because the fact that for 400 years they've kept down a black people just because of the color of their skin, it has retarded the growth of humanity. Because we have shown undisputedly what we have contributed to mankind. As much as they like to look at us and say, but we're inferior, we have given them almost everything that they have that they use for their survival today.
You said burn? You said burn? Because I'm seeing here Pope Leo the 10th.
No, it wasn't a Leo.
It wasn't Leo?
No.
And then I'm seeing Pope Paul the
Hello?
Fourth.
Hello? Caller?
Yes.
You gonna call Greg.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from their sins and from hell, by the gospel through faith only, according to the word of God only. Now, I was interested to listen to what Hortensia was saying, but I don't think she get to finish. But as far as what I know, the destruction of the Library of Alexander, even though some people try to put it on the Christians, it isn't as clear as how they want to put it. Because I've also heard people put it on the Muslims as well. And it's not as clear as Quint trying to make it that, it was the Christians.
The destruction of the libraries in Alexandria happened over a period of time. There were different fires at different times, right? But there was this one particular pope. I'm going to have to look it up. And who came in and meticulously decided to burn and destroy what was in those
Bishop
books.
Theophilus?
I think it is a
Emperor
Theophilus.
Theophilus.
He was not an
decree?
emperor. He
No,
was
it
not
wasn't?
an emperor. And he was a pope.
Well,
Right.
they said the daughter library at the Seraphim was likely destroyed by Christians under
Yeah.
Bishop Theophilus.
Okay,
What?
well, that might be him. Bishop.
boy.
Bishop is what he was. So these things happen, Greg, over time. It didn't happen once. It's like, for instance, here in Bastia, we had different fires way back in history that destroyed Bastia over time. Yeah? Go ahead, Greg.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm going to have to go and refresh because I remember I looked that up and read it sometime. I'm going to have to go back and refresh. But I always hear of the library of Alexandria and never the libraries of Alexandria. But not only that. With all due respect, it was Alexander the Great who was responsible for the library of Alexandria, of Alexander. You know, it was the Alexander the Great who was responsible for the building of it.
And
anyway.
remember, there wasn't only Alexandria, because if you delve into, there's a name that they don't even want to admit that it exists. That's Timbuktu. And they went out of their way to destroy Timbuktu again, which was even a bigger, had much more books and a bigger level of learning and that kind of stuff. So
They say it was accidentally burned by Julius Caesar. Now I'm looking at it here during his civil war in 48 BC. But
what
it
was
is
accidentally burned?
the Library of Alexandria.
Like I said,
There's
this
just a lot
happened
of
over
information
time.
here.
Like I said, let me reiterate, it happened over time. And if you listen to that statement there, you could see it's more like they're trying to grasp at an excuse, right? So I'm not going to definitively say that everything was, because I delve into history, I'm a student of history. So I know that if you study the fires of Alexandria, you'll find that they happened at different times.
It says it here, the destruction of the Library of Alexandria was a centuries-long decline caused by multiple fires, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, war and reduced funding rather than a single event
Yes.
that you keep saying. Major incidents included Julius Caesar burning ships in 48 BC, conflicts under Aurelian and the Diocletian, and the 391 CE destruction of the Seraphim Temple.
When Julius Caesar burnt those ships, that was one of the first causes for the fire, because remember, the ships are
Close.
close to the and they're bored, and a lot of
Yeah.
those buildings. So but if you study history, it's there. These
Yeah.
things are there, and these are things that I learned way back when I was young. So I'm using my memory mainly to recall them. Go ahead, Greg.
Yes. And a little thing here, I see on Google. It says here, it said here concerning the destruction of the Library of Alexander, the primary blame historically placed on Julius Caesar in 48 BC.
Yeah,
The
that's
primary
what it is.
blame
Yeah,
is
that's the start of it.
placed on
Yes.
him, but yes, there was a number of things, series of destruction, but the primary blame historically was placed on
But doesn't
Julius
yours
Caesar
say-
in 48 BC.
Accidentally, because mine, the one that I have from Wikipedia says accidentally, was accidentally burned by Julius Caesar.
But you see, but what? So now what I'm trying to say, that people are trying to put the blame on Christianity. It's far more complex than how they're saying. As a matter of fact, they're saying it is a claim of Christian maps in 371. That is a claim that has been made. But definitely for sure, we know the primary blame has been placed on Julius Caesar. No. And another issue. And another issue quickly, because I assume that you're going to have it.
Yeah, we're gonna have
okay.
traffic talk. The
Uh-huh.
officers just got
Yeah.
here.
Right. So
In terms of
two points,
in terms of Julius Caesar, it really was an accident, because it's because of war, and he tried to burn the ships,
Yeah, so it ended up catching there.
So
Yeah, but yes. Anyway, let me make two other quick point quickly. The second point, Wednesday coming, Africa invited me to Voices, so God's PLF, God's willing. I'm going to do all my best to be there Wednesday coming and Voices, as Africa invited me. Secondly, quickly, last night I was listening to a program, and this man I was even reading some extra on it, that when Gavin Newsom, the California, I think he's the governor for California, on the 1st of April 24, he raised the fast food minimum wage from $15.50 to $20 an hour. And the results are coming in. And we are seeing that where the fast food employees are concerned, especially those who are working at minimum wage, the increase in the minimum wage has been very negative on them, very bad for them. It has increased unemployment for them. It has increased prices. Those who still have their jobs, their hours has been slashed. 89% of them hours has been slashed.
So you're suggesting that it was a bad thing to increase their wages?
Very bad thing. And
no,
very,
I disagree with you.
Very unbiblical.
I disagree with you, because if you see a people impoverished and you try to make it better for them, and this is why the U.S. is in the problem it's in, Every time you try to do something for the people, those in the 1% and 2% who are filthy rich, they try to cut their costs. They try to make sure that they pocket all the money. So they outsource their own jobs from their people all over the world to get cheaper labor. And that is why now you can hardly find a lot of really skilled jobs in the U.S., where the U.S. population itself, the majority of them, are skilled in the skills vital for development in terms of infrastructure and so forth. So this is what you all have used. You all have said, oh, let the rich cut their taxes and everything, and when they have all that money, it will trickle down. But yet still, whenever you say to those very same rich people, okay, give your poor people an increase, they cut your wages, they lay you off, they cut back your time,
right,
and then you come and chat nonsense about, oh, well, it was a very bad thing and unbiblical.
Well, it wasn't very bad because the people them are saying they would have preferred the $12.50 or the $15 an hour rather than the $20 an hour where they have no job.
Because the people, because again, Greg, I say the majority of the people are cowards waiting to be exploited. Look at that thing in the Bible. Look at that. Look in the Bible. I'm showing you the point where even when you try to help people for their good, they fight against you. When they were in the desert, and they were complaining about food, and God said, I will send manna from the sky, and when the birds come, you will get meat. And what did they do? He told them, do not save it up. I'm going to give you in abundance. They try to save up, they complain, they this, they that, and all kind of stuff, and the food start to spoil, right? That is why they wound up in the desert for so long, Because even when you're trying to help them, that's one of the reasons. Because even when you try to help them, they're complaining. So, the very same people you're trying to help.
Oh, don't forget traffic talk.
Yeah, the very same people you're trying to help often are the very same ones who shoot you in the damn foot.
Yeah, but
anyway, you're gonna have to continue after.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you.
So we're gonna take a bit of a commercial break, and Greg, you can always call back.
Found the South 98.9 FM.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch smart TV or a $400 Amazon gift card. When you add a Flow postpaid mobile plan to your home internet, you can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with a big screen or big shopping. Let us upsize your TV or clear your Amazon cart. Either way, you come out on top. Add postpaid to internet today for your festive win-win. Visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
And we're back on Island Tea, just about 34 minutes after the hour of 8. And this morning we are going to talk about your windscreen again. Yes, but this is a different issue. So, Constable Bell, good morning. Take it away. Oh, and before we start, Sergeant McGuire, get well soon, okay?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Constable Bell here. The sergeant is out sick this morning.
Oh.
The sergeant is out sick this morning, so it will make me alone. Today, we're going to be speaking on the windscreen again, but this is more from the inspection part and give some pointers to the public, some considerations we're trying to set in place, to have some discretion for the road users, the public, such to speak, We also want to appeal to the general public, the motorists, to comply with the traffic laws, the inspection policies, Last week we spoke about persons who are making sure that their vehicle is conforming with the policies and the regulations just to pass inspection, and after inspection they
back to the same old.
Yes, if they had the number plate in the middle, they take it off and put on a sticker to the side. I really don't know how people
They want to pay
take
out
all
some money.
those, and we can't use our discretion with persons who are being malicious.
Exactly.
Because once you take your vehicle for inspection, those images are uploaded in the system. Whatever you pass would be ticked off. Whatever you fail would be ticked off. So if your inspection says everything was conforming with the law, and now we're stopping you, you have everything not conforming with the law, we can't help you. But the purpose for the amendment or the addition with the law for the windscreen is to ensure that all vehicles certified as roadworthy provide safe visibility and structure proper protection to drivers, passengers, and other road users. So, not because we are saying we can use discretion for persons with cracked windscreen if it's not directly obstructing the driver's view, but we have to also ensure that the passenger is safe.
Yep.
Okay? Now, I just want the public to know that whatever I'm going to say today, it's not anything that is set in law. It's just some considerations from the traffic department, the inspectors, other persons who are hand in hand with us in coming together to set these things in law if the licensing authority agrees.
Okay.
And everything would be, we don't want to set things and then it backlash at us, Now, we realize that there's an increase in accidents, minor accidents, some that could be avoided, some that are, just unfortunate. But no, I don't think no accident is intentional. That's why it's called an accident. However, we have unfortunate situations where maybe, for example, the month is coming to an end. Now, you might have to go and inspect your vehicle to get it licensed once it's ending with a 1. By the end of January, your vehicle must be licensed. Once your vehicle ends with a 1.
It's a 1.
Now, based on a meeting that we had with the inspectors at the training school last week, they brought up some pointers that we found were valid. Okay. Everyone have their own opinions and stuff like that. Not saying what we don't think is valid is not valid in their opinion, but some of the major stuff, for example, you might be going to license your vehicle for this month, and you intend to go on Wednesday, but you get in an accident today. Now, the accident might not be major. Your vehicle may be able to be driving still. However, maybe object, something may have, struck the windscreen, and the crack may now be more than what we would have accepted to pass the inspection. Now, we understand that windscreens are not manufactured in St. Kitts.
Yeah.
So you would have to get a time to get the windscreen imported into the Federation. However, your vehicle is still drivable. You have businesses to do. It's not that you're being malicious to the law or anything like that. And, you want a little leniency or discretion from the police. Now, we are considering to, find a time period to, give waivers or exempt persons with the inspection until they can get the windscreen fixed. However, a lot of, how should I put it? A lot of persons would use that and try to be malicious. They might have had a broken windscreen since last year.
But, okay, we have an accident. As you say, I have to license because I have one. I'm licensed already, though, so don't get me. If at the scene of the accident, the officers, and you see, that's the thing. Because I know I came with a windscreen that had no problem. I have to wait for you to come. So how do you vouch that I got that?
No, all traffic accidents must be reported. And when you report a traffic accident, one, the police officer records explanations, measurements, and damages.
Do you take pictures? Because
yes.
what if... Okay.
Yes.
So then you can vouch and say,
yes.
well, yeah. But how would you know if I didn't have that crack before?
That is true. But now, if you get a side lash or rear end lash, we don't expect your front windscreen to be damaged.
But all kind of things can happen.
That is true. That is true. However, it's up to the police to go and assess there. I don't think the other party would see you claiming for damages that they know they didn't create and allow you to still claim for those damages. Okay? And I'm glad that you brought up that about how would we know? Because all traffic accidents must be reported. And this is what one of the grounds we would put into consideration. If the person get in an accident, they must report it.
Right.
They must report it to the police. The police must take photographs and damages of the damages as a result of the accident. Now, if you're going for an inspection and the inspection failed, now some of the things that we're going to ask as proof. One, for the traffic accident report. Okay? With the traffic accident report would indicate which officer dealt with that accident. Now, that officer now have to come with his photos to assist you in proving that, hey, yes, I was involved in an accident and my windscreen was damaged. Now, we haven't set a time period, but we are not trying to entertain persons who have damaged windscreen over a month prior to their inspection date and haven't reported it to the police. We cannot entertain anyone that has gotten in an accident and damaged their windscreen and did not report it to the police, because we don't have any proof
that is an accident
that there's an accident that caused it. It could be an incident also, but we have no proof of the occurrence to say, hey, it did happen last week, or it did happen last month, or last year. Because remember, the grace period would have ended at the 31st of December last year. However, if someone gets in an accident now, it's going to take them a while to get the windscreen.
How long does it take? Because I know you mentioned until, but why not give a time frame so they can be compliant than allowing us as big children, to get away with this? Because we're going to prolong this.
I like you.
As human beings, we can prolong things forever.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to say, I can't afford it this much. Why not give us a time?
Yes.
And people don't get me, but we need time. Just like we get time for everything else, we need time for this.
One of the things that they must provide also as proof, an invoice or something to prove that a transaction was made for them to order a new windscreen with the date when it is expected to arrive and that it is in transit. Because as you say, persons can be malicious. Anyone can just get up today, put through an order, even if no money is on the card, to say they order a windscreen, take a screenshot of something to say order completed, to provide it for us. But tomorrow, the order said cancel, but they just use that as something, as a leeway. So they must prove that the windscreen is ordered and it's on its way. Okay?
But with technology, aren't you afraid that people could fix all these things? And what does your database look like when it comes to where we as citizens and residents can get our windscreen replacements from?
We will also have conversation with the Customs and Excise Department for them to give us some advice also, because they will be more versed when it comes to importation. Also, persons will be served with a notice of inspection. So, for example, you come with your document, hey, my windscreen will arrive in a month, so I'm just looking for a waiver or exemption for the month to use my vehicle with that broken windscreen until it comes. Now, we give you that waiver or that exemption, but we give you a notice of inspection also. So within that time, you must bring back your vehicle to the traffic department for inspection. And if that problem is not resolved, then that vehicle must not continue driving on the road. So it's not just we giving you the leniency and then you're not coming back to follow up. Because we're going to run ourselves in problems. Otherwise, everybody is going to come and do that, and then we're not going to see any change at all.
All right. Once there's policy in place to help us to act.
No, as I said, the bigger heads, they're going to come together and see as best as they can properly structure it But these were just some suggestions, some, inputs from the inspection officers. Also, we understand not everybody order on their own.
Yeah.
People go to,
Their friend or whatever.
import, different agency who import stuff, vehicles like CarQuest, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Now, we would recommend and require, a stamped document from them to say, hey, yes, we did order a windscreen. We did order a windscreen on behalf of Tom or on behalf of Jane. It is expected to arrive in the Federation this time, that time. What's that? The estimated period it should take to install and stuff like that. They stamp and sign.
Okay.
So that would be more certified and more acceptable for us, to show that, yes, it's not just word of mouth, there's progress. Because if we just get up and say, hey, once your windscreen is broken and you want to license it, just come to traffic with proof to say that you ordered a windscreen, and that's it. We're going to run in problems.
Straight. Caller, go ahead. You're live in Traffic Talk. Go for Constable Bell.
Yeah, Quinton Cotencio, good morning, and the traffic police.
Good morning.
Traffic police, I got a problem with what you were saying, just now with the broken glass. It's sure, it's a problem. It's true, it's a problem with the broken glass. I have a problem with you when you were saying that we got to order in the what if Catencia glass get broken and she buy one from a friend on island. She still got to go up to the customs. It's a problem. You all got to sit down and work out this thing properly, because remember things hard around the island, A lot of people driving now. People ain't got money like before, like that. So I had to just put in pressure on the people like that. Them ain't gonna talk, but me, Jam, don't gonna talk. Poor people, defender will talk. You all gotta sit down and work it out the best you all could work out for the poor drivers, them, and everybody got credit card could order. So that's my little take, because it's a big concern around town. Do not force higher hand on the poor people. Politicians could go to the bank and purchase them overseas with the card. A lot of poor people can't, and they got to take the kids from point A to point B. Look out for poor people mind, because it ain't gonna be nice, Have a good morning, Catencio. This is Jam Down. Poor people defender.
Thank you, Jam Down.
Thank you, Carl. But I think you kind of misunderstood, The customs only get involved if there's an importation.
Yeah.
If someone has somebody that they can buy a windscreen from here, it's even better for us.
Yeah.
If you're buying here on the land, you don't have to go to customs or
Exactly.
anything. You don't need any proof of importation or order. So we were just speaking about persons who may have to order, because not everybody can get a spare windscreen in St. Kitts. It's fortunate if they could, but not everybody could. So majority of the time, you have to order. You have to order.
When you do have serious accidents, windscreen gone.
Yes.
So to say, the old car there, I could borrow or buy a windscreen from that person.
And now, also, not because we said if you get in an accident and the windscreen is damaged, you can get the waiver. It depends on how damaged the windscreen is also. Because if there's a hole in the windscreen, we cannot at all tolerate that. We're just looking at if the line is longer than what we accept, then we can, be lenient or use our discretion. But if you have a windscreen with a hole in it, obviously we cannot.
How about the shattered glass, where it would obstruct a view, but they might say, I could still see?
Shattered.
That way where the glass still hold together, but it's shattered. It hasn't gotten the hole just yet.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah,
so we would still can't, because
it's a no-go.
Yeah, should your vision should not be what we call it, plague
Obstructed, but
yeah.
they might say, I could see through it, officer, look, I could see.
No,
Just
it's
give me
not-
some time.
Yeah, it's up to the police to use that discussion. It's not up to them to say they can see or they can't see.
You want to say something? Oh, okay.
I just want to read a part in the windscreen policy that they.
How about a crack that goes all the way up to the top of the windscreen? Can the person still go and license
If it's a line?
once you okay it?
Yes.
No, like it's cracked all the way up. So like basically having it, but it's not. The crack is not so deep that it could fall into immediately.
As I said, that's why they would have to come and bring it first to inspect, and then
Okay.
we make a decision from there.
Okay.
But
alright.
as I said, if the line is longer than what is required, we can use our discretion. But if there is a shatter or if there's a hole,
work.
automatically we cannot.
Yeah.
Okay. The inspection criteria for the windscreen: structural integrity. Windscreens must be secured, fit with a proper sealing, no looseness, displacement, or improper installation is permitted. Damage or defects: no crack, chips, or scratches are permitted within the driver's line of sight. Cracks or chips outside the driver's line of sight must not exceed 1.57 inches, which is 40 millimeters. Windscreens with multiple cracks, star fractures, or spreading defects must be rejected. Now, these are reasons that your inspection can be failed
Okay.
from. Visibility. Windscreen must be clean and free from obstruction. Stickers, tinting, or attachment that obstruct the vision are prohibited, except official license stickers affixed in the designated area. Now we realize, a lot of persons have graphics on the windscreen, on the front windscreen, a word, maybe their child's name, something, that they like, maybe a slang, their name, something. They might have a sticker to the top, from the 10 inches from the top and stuff like that. Those stuff are not permitted.
Okay.
We use...
So no sticker on the front window?
No.
Nothing at all?
No, it's only supposed to be the license sticker. It's the same thing for the number plates also. The number plates are not supposed to have on any writing or any additional stuff other than the PA or the numbers, the letters and the numbers. No words or anything like that. Now, we get a lot of, but this is how I've been driving for years. Yes, you've been doing it for years. Unfortunately, that was a practice that we kind of played a blind eye to. But it's coming so popular now, and persons are now exceeding their luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
To put it in that way, because...
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Yes, officer, this is Poor People Defender again.
Yes, sir.
Where we will like to see Cortensio, what we will like to see, officer, and Cortensio and Quinn, is that you got foot police. What we will like to see, Cortensio, what we will like to see is that we get foot police to town looking for these cracks, because it's very dangerous. You can't dispute that. A crack in a glass, it starts small, but the heat of the sun and constant driving and the ponging, it bad roads, it extends. And it's very dangerous for the chauffeur. What we would like to see is foot police in town detecting and pulling them aside and make them deal with it. And let them know it's serious. This thing is serious. The other thing is the noise and the music. If you could deal with glass, you should could deal with the music in these vehicles. The chief of police dragging the foot and a lot of things, A lot of things, and they're not working thinkings, because they get paid massively and they got to do the work. Have a good morning.
All right. Thank you, Jam.
Noisiness is an offense. Noisiness is an offense.
But they seem like they get into it, so they keep doing it.
You know, sometimes you hear the noise as the vehicle pass. But if a vehicle is approaching a VCP, trust me, they take off all the noise, they turn on all the windows, they slow down, they do everything to comply with the law. And sometimes as they pass the police, and the music back up again, but
when
they
you
already
stop
passed
them
us.
and you look in the vehicles and you see the apparatus they have in the back of those vehicles, what do you tell them?
No, because you see, persons, you know, they go to car shows, they go to stuff like that, you know.
Right.
So we that is something we can't do anything to them. But as they reach on the road and they don't comply with the law, then. But as I said, if they're approaching,
the vehicle checkpoint, of
yeah,
course they're
they
gonna be
slow
nice
down,
to
so
pass.
we cannot say, hey, we're gonna give you a ticket for loudness because.
Are we gonna give you a ticket
Yes.
for all them speakers you have in the back of that thing there?
And sometimes the thing is, we have 6 vehicles coming, and we're hearing the noise. How could we
Distinguish
which vehicle was making that noise approaching?
Okay, unless
If
the
they say-
vehicle doesn't have in the big speakers, it's gonna be hard. You're correct.
Yes,
Okay.
so it's something the public want us to clamp down on. Not disputing that we should, but we also have to prove and justify our actions when we do that.
Understood.
So, yes, it's okay to
And
cry out.
for somebody like me, I'm old now, but and I never did learn to drive. But when I was young, if I had learned to drive, I'd be booming, I tell you. I would be booming. Maybe not in the town, but let me come out in the countryside and I'm going, you crazy? I'm going to be blasting.
Yeah,
man."
but I mean, it's good, you know, it's good to have a nice sound system in your vehicle, but what we find, persons are installing speakers on the outside.
Yeah, I realize that.
So,
Yeah.
now, even with this lot of noise, if something is happening and someone is blowing their horn to alert you, then you won't be able to hear, you're going to be distracted.
I think that should be discouraged, though, the speakers on the outside.
Yes, I
haven't
agree.
seen that. Yes,
You're not gonna see. You're not gonna see it.
but you're
You're not
hear
gonna
it,
see it
and you're
because
gonna-
most of the time they are modified and placed under the grill or under the bumper and stuff like that.
Oh, so you just hear it.
You just hear it.
Okay, but it's not visible.
Yes.
But you
Okay.
can tell it.
But you can
it,
tell
you can
because
hear, you know
speakers
that those
inside and speakers
yeah.
outside is two different. So
I have to say that I'm not that inclined to those things, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I hear it so loud because they're outside and I can't see them.
yes. No, we find, for example, persons might have their windscreen damaged and they use a transparent plastic and tape it up to the back.
Yeah, with the duct tape.
They get a plexiglass that you can't even really see through and use it, you know. Windscreen must be manufactured from safety and laminated glass.
Okay.
Windscreen must not show delamination, discoloration, or distortion that reduce visibility. So those who are asking, if my back windscreen is damaged, I could use a plexiglass to pass inspection? No.
So if you have a full plastic or
Because-
plexiglass back, don't come.
No.
All right.
If it's clear, clean, no sort of obstruction to the visibility, it can.
Okay.
But if
But-
you really
But won't the police have to give, like, for instance, my back screen get knocked out? Shouldn't I come to the police first to let them
Yes.
give the authority?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because a lot of the plexiglass, yes, they you could see through them, but how far? You know, how clear could you see, you know, certain things through those plexiglass? Because what I can see through here, if this was a plexiglass, I might just be able to see who is behind, not the writings to the back. So if you're reversing, your view is obstructed, that's an hazard. So persons who are asking about the plexiglass, the transparent plastic or whatever.
We have about 3 more minutes. For persons that said, I have a backup camera and I really don't need to look through the glass, but I need to use this glass for the interim, would you pass their vehicle?
No.
All right.
Backup cameras can
You got it.
backup cameras can malfunction when they were driving. They didn't use backup cameras to reverse.
It's gone way back now.
Backup cameras don't be majority of the time. If you look at these backup cameras, they place them anywhere to the back, so the alignment is off.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hazard with the backup camera. Yes, you could see behind, but your alignment would be off.
Got you.
Your judgment would be off, because some backup cameras, they show you that a vehicle is far behind based on the lens, and it's right there.
Got you.
And sometimes they show you it's right there and it's far behind.
Yeah.
So we would be running ourselves into problems allowing those stuff. So the best thing for road users, if you're not sure,
Go to traffic.
go to the traffic department.
Okay.
We don't want, because everybody's windscreen is cracked, they want to come to the traffic department. No. You go, you get your inspection. If your inspection is failed, as I said, if these things that I spoke about are set in place, you get your accident report, you get the photos from the officer, that would be from us within. You get your proof of transaction, and that your windscreen is in transit.
Yeah.
If you go to a licensed business, they give you a document signed and stamped, indicating that they did order on your behalf and what's not. You come to traffic department with that. You get whatever waiver or pass, and you must be served a notice of inspection. You must bring back that vehicle to prove that you did fix the problem. If not, if you fail to do so, then automatically, if your vehicle was licensed, that will be revoked, and your vehicle will now not be roadworthy. Okay?
Got you.
Failing to do so and you continue to use the vehicle, then we prosecute you. Okay, so we are trying, because we're serving the public, we're not an autocratic country where whatever we say just goes like that. We have to also ensure that the public, we're not an autocratic.
Caller, go ahead.
Hello, yes, good morning. No, I'm calling to ask a question. I guess it'd be a very foolish question, but still I'm curious about it. Now, let's say you go somewhere, right? You got your vehicle parked, and somehow your screen get damaged, and you need to go back home. Okay? Do you call the police and let them know?
Well,
so that you can drive back home with your vehicle, or what?
Okay, so I think the first thing someone would do if they come and they realize that there's damages to their vehicle that they didn't do, they're going to call the police.
Yes, okay.
So call the police, then the police, with their discretion based on them they're using, investigating your incident report now, they can say, hey, yes, we're going to, once it's not a major obstruction for you, especially in the night, we can say, hey, we're going to use our discretion and allow you to at least get the vehicle back home. So that is something that would be, decided on the scene. But as I said, because damages to your vehicle, especially if it's not an accident, that's malicious damage.
Is there a note to say that you let them go home with the vehicle? Because I don't want the next day now, they think they could continue to drive the vehicle without sorting it out.
Well, we could try and get something in place for that, but how often would that happen?
Okay.
For us to now set a policy or something in writing for that. That's why I said, that's a decision on the grounds that officer can make, and, the officer can give you his badge numbers, his information. So if a police stop him and you said, hey, officer, I just reported whatever, we would have in our system that, yes, you did make a report for real. But if you made a report yesterday, and we allow you to go home, we don't expect to see you on the road today, because we allowed you to take the vehicle home yesterday. So everything that is done is logged, or should be logged, we have a VRS and we have a CMS. CMS for incidents or anything. Even accidents we import in the CMS. But the VRS we only import the accidents.
Okay.
So either way police have access to see if you did in fact made a report.
Okay.
So it's well, I wouldn't use that word, but you cannot be bogus to the police that easy now. For example, back in the past, you stop posting, they say, I forget my license home. And you tell them, okay, you have 2 days or 5 days to bring it back. You don't see them people again. Because they don't have any license. They're not going to come back. And that is the same thing too. We stop posting, we give them a ticket for tint.
Yeah.
And we tell them, hey, bring back your vehicle tomorrow to show us that you take out the tint. They don't come back. So now we have a notice for inspection.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't bring back the vehicle for the inspection, then we prosecute you.
Okay.
Whether or not you fix the problem, you are instructed lawfully to bring back your vehicle to the station for inspection. Yes.
All right. So anything else before we go?
Not really. Those were really the main, points.
Okay.
Persons who are asking if they could, use the plexiglass, stuff like that. And with your windscreen, also, wipers and washers must be present, securely fitted, and in effect working condition.
Okay.
So, you put on a plexiglass or transparent glass, your wipers must be able to function
On that glass.
on that glass.
All right. So as we heard Constable Bell say, any incidents or accidents, you call the police, you report so they can vouch for you. And remember, although you got in an accident and your vehicle is scheduled to license, take it for the inspection. Before that, as we say, contact the officers, take it for the inspection, let them give you the okay and the time in which you have to.
And just to clear, these are not anything set in law as yet.
Okay.
These are stuff that we are considering to do. We have to get the approval from the licensing authority.
Okay,
No
problem.
They won't know approval as yet. These are just some suggestions put in forward to be discretionary to the public.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you, Constable Bell. See you next week. And to Sergeant Maguire, once again, you get well soon.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
What are you doing?
She said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active living we life. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we are we building up our vibes. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, we drinking. Root boy. Why?
More than 42 million cars from 19 different car companies are being recalled for faulty airbag inflators. Repairs are fast, easy, and free. The problem isn't with the airbag, it's with the airbag inflator. Because the inflator can rupture, shooting shrapnel through the airbag, which can cause serious injury or even death. Don't risk it, fix it.
Please contact TDC Automotive Division to find out if your Toyota vehicle is affected by the Takata airbag recall. Visit or call us at 465-2511 in St. Kitts or 469-5430 in Nevis.
And we are back on Island T. It's just about 12 minutes after the hour of 9. Officer Henry, oh my gosh, I haven't forgotten you. I miss you daily. And Officer Donnelly, how are you doing? How are you ladies doing? I miss you both. I hope you're having a good day. And I look forward to seeing or hearing from you both sometime soon. I know Officer Donnelly is retired, probably enjoying it right now. And Officer Henry, whatever you're doing, Sergeant Henry, whatever you're doing, you enjoy it today. You had a stint. You were here when Sergeant Henry used to come, right?
I don't recall. Can't recall that name.
Oh, okay.
Really.
Okay.
We have a caller.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yes, it's me again. Now, just quickly to continue what we were speaking about. What I was saying is that we do a lot of stuff in the name of help. But a lot of the stuff we do in the name of help actually make the situation worse. There is a saying, the road to hell is paved with a lot of good intentions. Even, for example, in the medical field, they will tell you, be very careful. For example, somebody get an accident, shot or whatever, they will tell you, be very careful because you might go to help, but make the situation even worse for the victim.
Yeah, but that's different, Greg. Greg, we're speaking about, I'm assuming that you're suggesting, but you're going to have to clarify this. Are you suggesting that if I am a minimum wage employed person,
right,
that my salary should remain the same for years and years?
What I am saying is that when the government force employers, which is unbiblical, when the government unbiblically enforce employers to raise your minimum wage, out of their good intention, out of the government's good intention, it actually ends up going to hurt the employees more than whatever else.
So why can't
in principle with the medical situation?
No, the medical situation is different because
the same principle. In other words, it is bad health. It is bad
yeah,
health.
but the medical situation is different because you cannot see what is happening internally, and so you should not go
and like
as an inexperienced person and move that body. But let me further continue my point. Following what you just stated, why then would the government have to do something that the employer should do? For instance, note how I asked the question: should I, as a minimum wage worker, should I be paid the same thing I started in 10 years ago, 10 years later, 15 years later? I would assume that the people who employ that individual or those individuals would say, okay, you are due to increments at certain stages. But when that isn't done, and the government looks at the system and realizes, look, there's a disparity between the haves and the have-not, and they try to rectify it, you're saying that it is a wrong thing and it is unbiblical. But I am saying, why then don't the employers preempt the government by making sure that these individuals get an increase or increments in their salary?
That why they don't do it? They would have to answer that. I guess one of the reasons would be maximizing the profits, that sort of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but that's but that's what they always do. I'm not going to let you just say maximizing their profit and get off and run forward, because that is what they do. They want to always maximize their profit, and the people and this is what is just so baffling, right? This is what is so crazy. You in your business develops because of the input from your workers. Your workers come, they work hard, they do things, and you get more money, and you can expand, and you can come into a franchise, and you don't want to give them increase? I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
but what I'm saying, that is not, biblically speaking, that is not for the government to force employers to do.
I hear you, and I hear you, and I
Yeah,
concur.
but I'm
but
saying
I
what the government
only,
should do now.
I only use that in terms of saying when, for a given period, the employers are not doing it, then the governments feel they have to do something.
Yes, and they do something out of that good feeling. But what I'm saying, the consequences are mostly always negative and bad for the employee.
Because
What the
because the
government should do.
because the employer is greedy and selfish, and as you stated, wants to maximize
and
their profit.
Backfire against the employees when the government force the employer to do that. What the government should do and ought to do is the biblical thing, which is increase the spending power of the dollar. And that
and
would
how do they
maximize
and how do they
the
do
benefit. They do that like I always continually say. One, you at the very least, at the very minimum, be continually decreasing your taxes.
That's what I'm saying, Greg. I am saying, and you see, you bring it right home. I always say, you bring it right home. So decrease the taxes for the rich,
right?
And the rich doesn't pass it on to the poor. So you now have to come to the rich and give them a slap.
Decrease taxes for everybody. For example, duty-free ports. For everybody, the rich alone will benefit from that. Everybody will benefit.
But if you
decreasing government taxes at the port.
No, everybody don't benefit, because if I am a
Everybody
minimum,
benefit, Chris.
listen, Greg, and this is common sense. If I am a minimum wage worker and I am getting $5 a week, right? And my Hortensia over there is my employer, and every so often she gets decreases on her taxes. She can then go and pay more. But me with that $5 every week, month after month after month, how am I going to be able to go to the customs and get things when all my salary is just at the same $5? She would have to pass it on to me for me to then go and say, well, okay, I can go and get these duty-free, so and so and so forth.
Well, but you see, with your ports tax-free, what that would do, that would increase businesses. Okay? That would increase businesses, which will create more competition.
And
which
again,
will bring
Greg,
down prices.
and again, Greg,
and create more jobs too.
And again, Greg, it increases businesses for who?
For everybody.
You see how he gonna blatantly lie? You see how he gonna blatantly lie?
For everybody.
No, because as people are able to bring in things cheaper, who are not rich, but able to bring in things cheaper through the port, and that's also, it put them in a better position to invest in a small business or something like that.
When you work, your salary should have stayed, let's say you start at $450, your salary should have stayed at $450 until you were retired?
If my salary?
No, we're using, as Quint would say, hypothetical. Say you work for $450, right?
Right.
You're now retired. Your salary should have stayed at $450 per week until you retired?
There is no should about it. There's no should about it.
Yes or no? I don't want to hear.
What I'm saying is that the employer should not be forced by the government to increase the employees' wages.
And we agree. And we agree. But what we're saying is that the employer should pass it on without being forced.
Forced to, yeah. See that your people need a little raise, and when they get the raise, they're going to buy more, because the average person, they have more money, they feel like they could put more things in the fridge.
Yes.
So you're not answering the question.
No, he's being maliciously unreasonable. Greg, this is how Greg goes and thinks he wins arguments by hedging. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to be working for $450 until I retire.
You understand?
I want my little raise. So.
But I am telling you, Greg, if employers could get away with it, they would make us work for $450 until we die.
Exactly.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that the more competitive your economy is, with growing businesses, decrease in the cost of living, that sort of stuff, the more the poor benefit, the more the poor able to make a living,
But we can't.
The poor can only
more
benefit.
alternatives the poor
You
have for
notice,
jobs.
you notice Cartensia. He never at any time say, the more you do this and the more you. This is what we want you to say. The more you as the businesses get, pass a little down to your workers. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem. And yes, if the employer do that, that would be a good thing, yes.
Yes.
Like
But
government
it's
telling
only a good thing when the employer do it off his or her own initiative. It is
But
not
what
a
if
good
they
thing when they're
never
forced
do
by the
it? We
government to do
just
it.
established that some of them would
Yeah.
just pay us $450 till we retire.
Yeah, we're
What
just-
if they never
Yep.
do it? That's why we
Yep,
have a
yep,
government
yeah, but
that
that 450
that
can
can
go-
encourage them
yep.
to do it.
Yeah, but that 450 can go more and more the more your cost of living drop in your economy.
But how can it drop when everything we import and things are getting expensive?
It would more than cushion it by, for example, having tax reports.
Look,
But
Greg,
we can't
Greg,
afford to
Greg,
have a tax report, can we, Greg? You worked in that area.
Greg, this is why even Christianity or anything with Greg, we don't get anywhere. Because Greg, even when Greg within the back of his mind sees what you're saying has merit, he hedges and he goes around
Yeah,
in
he's not gonna
circle
buy
and
it.
circle and circle and circle.
No, so you're telling me if we have government tax reports, things won't get a lot cheaper and therefore a lot better for the poor?
If the workers are, if the employers also pass down something to the
Yeah.
workers,
It's
that's
gonna
what
get
I'm saying.
better because we just said we can put some more things in the fridge, Greg.
Yeah. Repeat?
We just said we'll have a little bit more money to put more things in the fridge.
You would have much more money. You would have much more money if taxes, for example, at minimum wage reduced. You have
Anyway,
tax reports
anyway,
also.
Greg.
You would have
Anyway,
more money
Greg.
direct.
Yes.
than
Anyway,
in fact
Greg,
than even
Greg,
in- yeah.
Greg, you've exhausted that point because you keep going back to one
Yes,
thing. But we've already established, and this is the conclusion we come to. Greg is not wrong that government should not just willy-nilly impose these things. He's not wrong. He's
And
completely
yep,
right.
we get
But
that.
what we're saying, you the employers, when you do your business and you see your business getting more successful and so forth, pass on some of those benefits to your workers.
And take a little while before you cap the price.
Yes, yeah,
In
yes,
addition,
yeah. So I just cut him there because he's just gonna go back to the same old, same old. Greg doesn't relent. When he feels he has a point, he continues, and he never relents. Hello, caller.
Good day, Mr. Quinn. Good day, Cartens here. How are you?
Hey,
fine, thank you.
I'm good. Yourself? Happy New Year. I don't think I heard your voice for the New Year.
Oh, that is correct. Happy New Year to you. I've been Quinn a few times, spoke to him a few times, but happy to hear you've been hiding from me. Happy New Year to you.
All right. Happy New Year. Thank you.
I don't know what you gave Quinn to drink last night or this morning or give him to eat because he came in fiery and full of pepper and spicy, man.
Not a thing. We just started with a discussion, and you know when we just can't tolerate our questions not being answered.
A contribution or two. The point you made about, I think it was Greg made, when salaries increases, minimum wage or what have you, sometimes it's problematic because bosses, companies, employers, they don't really like to pay out monies, especially to the staff. Their thing is to make more money. And it's my fervent belief that the better you treat your staff, the better they'll perform. Before you bend backward.
That's definitely.
But it's sad when salary increase cut. Yes, it cuts into your profit. However, you gladly do it with a giving heart, and you're going to find they're going to work and profit come from even more.
Yeah.
And than when the increase came. But that's always going to be the sad thing, cut back hours. I worked in the hotel industry, and what was really sad, in the busy period, and you make money and overtime and all kind of things. But guess what? When the slow period comes, they not only give you 5 days instead of they don't not only give you the regular 5 days, they give you 3 and 4, and they also not give you 8 hours a day. You get 6 hours.
Yeah, they
maybe
cut it
7.
back, as he said earlier.
So from 40 hours, you're going to a 30-hour week. Just because you make a lot of money for them past couple of days, they take it back, which is grossly unfair. And it is because of that, the staff at that particular hotel, I'm not going to call the name, they've become disgruntled, unhappy. Some of them don't even want to work overtime because they know what's going to happen. It is sad. So that's in terms of the increase.
And then there's another aspect to it too, because in terms of the overtime, sometimes you work for overtime and you spend a long time before you get your money.
Your money's, yeah,
you know,
boy.
That is sad. Employers don't really like, a lot of employers don't really like.
You've already put in the work. You've already put in the work. They've already benefited from your work, but next thing it takes a month and a half, 2 months before you get your overtime. Nonsense.
I agree with you. And sadly, as we have seen in the past, some companies do not pay Social Security.
Yeah, that's
It's
another
only
one.
when you're sick now and you go to claim medical benefits.
No money there.
God forbid later on. They tell you, boy, sorry, nothing here for you because your boss ain't pay. I am.
But Biff, that poses another problem, because I think this is where the government is lacking. I think this is where the government should impose. For instance, in my years of existence from since I was young to now, I'm sure that I can remember at least 5 times over those years, and I'm sure there were more, at least 5 times where the government forgave debts that employers owed to their people in terms of not paying Social Security and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's talking about millions of dollars,
That is sad, and I agree with you,
but yet
Quinn.
still, when we the normal individual man falter here and there, the government comes with full brunt force. But these employers, you work for them, they take your money. You know the kind of profit they make off of taking their employers' money and not putting it in, just putting that on a bank account and leaving it there to gather interest. You know how much money? This is why they can come filthy rich millionaires. And then you, the government, is going to come and forgive them?
I could understand the government not necessarily forgiving them. They could waive the legal proceedings against them, but what the government needs to do and say, hey, if you have 500,000 in Social Security, you don't pay the 500,000. We ain't going to make it a court case because it's a criminal offense. It's a matter to go court and found guilty. You go over 1840. And I like the idea that in the past the government put the names of the people in the newspaper. I like that idea bad. Mr. Winky Wonka, he owes $500,000 or $100 or $750 for Social Security. And if they ain't deal with that, they go over there and call up in the case. In the court.
I agree. At least do something to
yes.
to shame them and let them, let the public know. Imagine X and look how much businesses he has, and he comes in and he drives this fancy car and he being paying his workers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nobody read the newspaper no more.
No, I'm not on the newspaper just alone,
Yeah, but I was just saying, that's been troublesome.
Give them from the criminal proceedings, the law, legal proceedings, but make sure they pay the people them.
But why forgive them? I mean, I understand, because the government doesn't want, because this is what a lot of those businesses do. They threaten the government. They don't pay Social Security, or they don't do certain things. They do, drop the court proceeding and that kind of stuff, and then they pay. If you wanted to drag into court, mind you, I agree with you. You want to avoid it. But if you're so malicious and you want to drag it into court, you pay the monies you owe, and then you pay the court fee, because you waste our time.
Exactly, Quinn.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would vote for you as a politician any day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Well, I'll never be a politician.
Twice on Sundays. I like that.
2 things before I run off. As a small boy growing up, I often hear about Timbuktu.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my interpretation of it it was a place that was made up to give you expressively that is far, 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 far away out of the world, maybe not even this world. And it's a place that you were not encouraged to go. It had bad connotations about Timbuktu. I really thought I was a little boy. Of course, when I became older, I felt I understood it was a place in somewhere about in Africa, Asia, somewhere down there. And but I remember that. And finally, Quinn, big congratulations, shout out, enough respect to the Leeward Islands female cricket team. They won the Cricket West Indies T20 Blaze, the T20 competition, currently down in St. Vincent. What? They not only won it, Quinn, they set a few records.
Yeah.
Never before in this competition, a team won all of its matches in the group stage or the round robin stage. They had six teams: Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Jamaica, Barbados, Nevis, and Leeward and Windward. A team might have lose a match and come back and be number one and to go to the finals and win, but they don't lose a match or two. Like in the Under-19 World Cup, one of the teams is Zimbabwe. They went through to the Super Six without winning a match. They lose two matches, and one match was rained out for them, so they had no result. So they went through with 1 point. But these Leeward females, they won all the matches in the group stage, which was a record. And obviously they went on to win the finals against the mighty Barbados, winning and beat them twice in the round robin and the final. But guess what? There's a young cricketer, very good cricketer. Well, not young, a very good cricketer, female cricketer from Barbados. What's her name again? Selman. Can't remember. Selman. She played for West Indies for many, many years. Went to retirement, went into commentary. And she came out of retirement to try and pop up Barbados because they had twin sisters, Casey Knight and Kishona Knight, are two beautiful, beautiful cricketers. They are twins. They retired. And so that left a void. So she came back to try and do something. And you could say nearly worked. They were second. So congratulations to, and we had some very good performances from both batters, fielders, and, well, I said both, from batters, fielders, and the bowlers. It was really a team effort. And in speaking to the coach, when I called him to congratulate him, Mr. Percy Sly Daniel of St. Kitts, and there were 4 petitions in the team, including a 17-year-old who played for West Indies under 19. Sly said, the coach of the West Indies senior female team, when the competition was held here a few years ago, Leewards, they've been playing, well, let me chuck in this. The first time any females played for the played cricket at the West Indies level. Leewards ain't had no team, you know, Quinn. 5, 6, 7, 8 of them went and joined up with Windward to form a team because Windward ain't had no lot of players either. That was back in 2015. In 2016, Leewards played at own. And when they had the competition here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was the first time Leewards won a game here. They've been getting home, and the West Indies coach, female coach, was here, and he saw them. And he told the Leewards coach, hey, looks like if you keep these girls together for another 2, 3 years, they're going to win the championship, you know. And that is what happened. So congratulations to them. They're now going to be playing the 50 overs. I hope they'll be able to carry that form into that competition. But congratulations to all of them, all and the coaching and management staff. But especially there's a 17-year-old Elia Weeks out of St. Paul. She played for the West Indies under 19 when she was 15. That was last year before last, 2 years ago, yes. And she has made the team again, the under 19. So we wish them well. So that is something for us to celebrate here in St. Kitts, here in the Leeward Islands. And of course, the West Indies under 19. They've gone through to the second round, which is called the Super Six. And we're hoping that they'll do well. And there is a petition there, Kunal Kilokani. He's a youngster from St. Martin. Israel Morton. Note the name, Israel. Not spelled like the Israel, the country. I think it's IS hyphen. And the 2 from Antigua. And we wish them well, as we also wish them well, Chris.
Okay, that was a bit of a sports capsule there.
Yeah, I hope you don't charge me for that.
Well, management is listening, so you might expect a bill. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was good though. That was good, and I listened to the sports this morning, and I heard what you were saying about the Leeward Islands and so on and so forth. So I don't know. Maybe good things will come out of these for the future, going right up to the West Indies.
Indeed. We're hoping so. Jazara Claxton of St. Kitts is already a senior West Indies player. And she didn't have the best performances. The last match she played, she had a top score of 20-something because of the amount of runs they had to chase down. And I put a funny twist to them. Leeward, they had the highest score in the tournament, 118, against Barbados. And they also had the third lowest score of 59. But they were chasing when they made 59. The team made 58. So all they had to do was make 59 to win. So, no, the team made, I think, is 70, 50, 69, 70, but Duckwater Lewis because of rain.
Yeah.
So their target was reduced. But I could tell you, the West Indies, they got some serious problems, Quint, because when teams batted, only 2 and 3, now and then 4 get into double figures, you know.
Yeah.
And when they get into, sometimes it's just 10 and 11 and 12, which is a serious problem because if we go up against Barbados, not England and Australia and these teams, we don't get a lot of blows.
Yeah.
The bowlers did well to restrict the batsmen to these small scores, but they were only about 6 or 7 out of how many matches? 15, 18 matches. Only about 6 or 7 times the bowlers were able to bowl out the other team, Which is good for the batting, but bad for the bowling. So they're mixed concerns.
Yeah.
But at least it's a start.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, you take care. Yeah. Well, let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch smart TV or a $400 Amazon gift card. When you add a Flow postpaid mobile plan to your home internet, you can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year with a big screen or big shopping. Let us upsize your TV or clear your Amazon cart. Either way, you come out on top. Add postpaid to internet today for your festive win-win. Visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean. Keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
And we're back on Island T, and it's just about 42 minutes after the hour of 9. As we continue along, we have a caller.
No, we don't.
Okay. And I just want to say a public thank you to my husband. He sent me some nice flowers here.
Yeah, well,
I can assume it's from him.
I was told that you can assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't
I was
read it,
told-
but I know it's gotta be him.
I was told that someone wanted to deliver something to you on the air, so I made sure. I made sure I take you off the camera, and so yeah. Well, I was thinking this morning when I said you look sweet. I guess that is what your husband was thinking also. He was thinking, wow, she looks sweet. I'm gonna make sure I
Send
let
me
her
some
know.
flowers.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Quint, this day 7 years ago we got married, so it's my
So that's
7th
it.
anniversary.
So that's it. So that's why the glow. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
That's why the
Thank
shine.
you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Hello, caller.
And to Tanika Niles, happy birthday, happy 18th. May you live to see many, many more. Caller, go ahead.
Okay, lost that. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Quint.
Yeah, good day.
Congratulations, Ainada.
Congratulations.
For your anniversary also.
Yeah.
And your husband is on the ball, man.
He on the ball. Yeah.
He's on the ball. You
I-
gotta give it to him.
I was thinking, that he heard me this morning when I said she looks sweet, and he was thinking, Quint, watch yourself, So he sent the flowers, but he's way ahead of me. It's anniversary flowers. You understand?
You better straighten up. You better straighten up.
Yeah.
You can't stop working at these things. These things is a full-time job.
You understand?
So, anyway, I hope you guys. It sounds like you guys had a good time, but I never make a mistake and let a sportcaster give a couple of words because sportscasters don't know the meaning of nutshell. It's like telling a politician give a few words and he take up the whole program.
You understand?
To make sure that he gets elected again.
Yes.
However, I just want to put a touch on the business side of things that the discussion we're having.
Yes.
There are lots of business that we see that are floating, and they look like they're floating, but trust me, they're sinking.
Yeah. Small
And
businesses.
The management.
especially, Yeah.
Sorry, Quinn.
Small businesses, a lot of small businesses go through that, yeah.
Well, big businesses are going through some difficulties also. They are flying some real strong red flags because not merely because that they would be, but some reason or another, our people, we don't try our best to endeavor ourselves to make sure that the business thrives. We put more glory in ourselves.
I think, caller, I agree with you, but I think that what the businesses are going through right now is because of the economy on a whole, where, we're looking for our politicians to find different ways to make income and revenue and that kind of stuff, and that has been lacking, so all over we're feeling it.
Yes, that is true, but at the same time, I want to show you this, that the higher percentage, 99.9% of the businesses, don't trim from the top. They trim from the bottom and the employee. And like your last caller was saying, that they give you, instead of give you 8 hours, they give you 3 days. Yes, I understand the days because I have worked in the industry for many years, and I know it is very difficult to have staff and schedule and don't have enough for them to do, because when you bring in a staff to work, you did not bring them in to have a good afternoon, sit down and a discussion and nothing being done. It must be productive. They must produce. But if there's nothing to do, so then you can't bring them in just to sit down to pay them because they exist and they show up. And there are lots of companies and organizations where people show up, but they don't produce. They're there 8 o'clock in the morning and they leave 4 o'clock. They get busy when 4 o'clock, but they don't produce. And so therefore, at the end of the day, the organization or the company would have lost because you're paying for non-productive showing up. And those are the things that happen to companies.
But that happens. But that very rarely happens. Okay, let me use your example that you used just a while ago, where you say they don't trim from the top; they trim from the bottom. Let's look at a hypothetical. A business is a factory that manufactures certain goods. For instance, let's say they make a radio. So different people on the assembly line put in the parts and so forth. Yes, there are going to be 1 or 2 of you who will farm the fool, and you weed them out. But the people on the higher level, the management who get the big salary, they get this big lot of money, and all they do is they walk around, they look over your shoulder. Yes, it is rather intimidating and it boosts work. But why is it that when the company goes through fiscal deficit or so forth, you're always going to trim from the bottom and not from the top? Let me show you an example. Some years ago, when the U.S. banks, and I'm sure you will remember this, I think Obama was in, because he inherited this problem with the banking system from, I think it was Bush. And then he came in and he gave these companies a bailout because they were laying off workers, they were complaining, they were on their knees to the government. He gave them a bailout. And you know what? What one of those companies, what they did? They had this big party, $1 million this and $1 million that, and they gave all the people on the top level a big increase after that bailout. You remember that?
I remember that, yes. Yes.
So my thing is, I hear what you're saying, but why is it that the people who are the ones that you push like horses and cows to be productive, you're always weeding them out, and they're the ones who really need the monies. They're the ones who, it's that majority that makes the country turn over, that stimulates your GDP.
Because you know why? Because there are hundreds and thousands and millions of them. And that is one of the reasons why slavery started.
Yeah.
Slavery started out of the fact that you get free labor, and now we're in a position where we get what you call cheap labor.
Yeah.
And if you get the system move with cheap labor, bigger profit.
That's
and
it.
So those who are at the higher level will always have a tendency to live better.
Yeah.
Now, to make a company strive, if you look at some companies, most of our companies here, we don't produce nothing, because you spoke about manufacture.
Yeah.
They don't produce anything. What they do, they are turn hands.
Yes,
they
you're
buy
right.
and sell.
Yeah.
And so what they do, they buy something for 50 cents and they sell it for $10.
Yeah.
And when they do the markup, they include all of the small stuff in terms of the minimum wage, and they include the electricity bill.
Yeah.
If the building is theirs, they have to have rent because they're paying the mortgage. And so the executive drive the top of the line vehicle, whereas you think that the executive will slim down his show rather than showing to accommodate the business and let the business flow properly.
Yeah.
And get the people employed to be more powerfully productive. Instead of doing that, they stay at the top of the hill and looking down.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you normally will find something like a company in a position going into a crash position. And they might have more asset, more inventory than what cash flow.
Yeah.
And so therefore, if you have that position, they will lose some of their assets because the cash flow is not keeping up with their disbursement of their inventory. So the bank cannot get the commitment of the amount that they expected to get. So sometimes it's really a headache for those businesses because of poor management. And lots of time people in staff know and understand the business better than the manager.
Yeah.
Because they see
Lot of
and
the
they live it
times.
every day.
Yeah.
But some reason or another, you get square pegs fit in round hole, and it don't fit good. And before you know it, the company crash, and they move on to another organization, just like a ship sank. Once the ship is sunk, then sailors going to find another ship where they could crash and sink. And then in small companies, and so you have theft, you have pillage, you have breakage, and all of those things that need to happen. And all of that are going to the costing. The last thing I want to leave you with, there was a conversation the other day. And out of the conversation, the issue was that some people who have worked up to 10 years don't have $5,000 in their bank account.
Yeah.
And my argument was, it shouldn't be. Because if you work for a minimum wage and you make at least $300 per week, I will say 300. 300, 3 times 3, that will be 3 times 2, that will be 6, and 2 times 6, that will be 12. So that will be $1,200 per month. If you save $20 per week out of that, multiply $20 by 4, you get $80 for the month. Multiply that by 12, $960. That's what it will be.
Yeah.
And so, don't tell me that no one in this country here cannot save $20 per week. $20 that have been wasted, and it's accumulated. Why wait until something happened to run up and down with a hat and a paper to say, sign this and donate me $5?
But
when
you see,
you could sacrifice $20 per week.
But you see, caller, you see that you just
could
said.
happen.
You see that you just said. If a lot of people would only stop, and it's a lot of money that we waste, you know.
We waste a lot of money.
That's true.
And
I
we
spoke
don't.
to an Indian guy the other day, and you know what he said to me? I love Sinkit, and I love Sinkit people, and I love the business. But I have a problem, and it bothers me. I said, what does it bother you? He said they will spend the last cent, and if they don't have it, they go and borrow it. And the things that they buy, they don't really need it, they want it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And when it comes to the things that they need, they don't have the money to spend on it.
Yeah.
Because they spend recklessly.
Yeah.
Arrears.
And these are the
money.
things I would like people to talk about, that people must control the expenditure so that they will be able to buy the things that they need and leave the things they want.
Yeah.
Why do you buy things and put it down in the corner for one time because you see your neighbor and your friend have it?
Not
When
only
you could have
that,
saved the money for the rainy day.
not only that. Why? I mean, a lot of the phone companies are going to be vexed. But why a phone is a phone, a call is a call? Why am I going to spend? Why am I going to spend $4,000, $5,000 for one phone when I can spend, let's say, 800, 400, you know, for a phone?
Quint, the telephone that we have now, the type of phone we have, we don't use 2% of the capability of the phone.
No.
That phone could do analysis, spreadsheet, it could do a lot of
Do a
things.
lot of things.
A vast amount of things. But people only have it to watch WhatsApp, Facebook, and all of that. And they don't get the real gist of the power of the phone.
Yeah.
And if they're going to buy it for what? If you're an executive, fine. If you do certain things and calculation and so on, you need the phone because you need not tie down by your desk and you have the phone, fine.
You know, that's a
But
good
why
point.
you need that kind of juicy phone?
You know, that's
Why?
a good point. If you're an
Why?
executive,
You don't use
if
2%.
if you're an executive and you know that you do a business that brings in thousands of dollars a month, X amount of dollars a year, you can afford to buy that $5,000 phone because you know that.
Because you have to overlook the different department and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't look and see, as a manager, as a director, your finger must be on the pulse of the operation. So you have your phone and you should be able to key into it to see what's happening. And if your phone don't have the capability, it come like one of your hand is gone because you're not doing what you should do and what you're supposed to do. So therefore, everything is running well. But an ordinary man carry a $10,000 phone, man, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
because
understand.
you're flying above, you're shooting above your weight.
Yeah. I've seen
And
some.
that kind of money you could have had to do something else. Then you got to beg.
Look,
Sometimes they even have to beg somebody a phone call.
Look, I've seen some fellas, right, working in, and I know their salary isn't exorbitant, and they go out of the way. The other day I saw one of them, and he showed me this phone. He said, this could hold about 5 trips and blah, blah, blah. So I looked at him. I said, how much it costs? He looks at me, he smiles. He says, $5,000. I didn't say I didn't say anything else to him. You know, I'm thinking to myself, $5,000 for what?
That's a lot of money for a phone.
Just to
you know
go.
how much things $5,000 could do?
Yeah.
You know how much Apple and orange I could buy?
Well, it's an
How much
Apple, so you
electricity
just
you
bought
could
the
pay for?
Apple. You just bought the Apple.
One apple? No,
Yes.
you need one a day. You need an apple a day. Keep the doctor away. You need one a day. So you need to buy an apple a day. You need an orange a day. Your body need a certain amount of fruit, especially when you're going into a certain age. You have them stupid sugar water oranges on the shelf because they're sugar water.
Yeah.
Sugar water they mix up on the shelf with color and give you to drink. So if you better off with the natural thing.
We have another
because you
caller.
want to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Not a healthy body. Sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Actually, real valuable insight this morning.
Well, thanks.
They're going to come in handy. They're going to come in handy for a program I'm supposed to be on this afternoon on another station.
Okay.
But there's one underlying thing about this. Yes, it may seem obvious that people should watch their spending and be very selective in where they spend their money and so on. But underlying all of this is choice.
Yeah.
Right? They have a choice. They should know what they're comfortable with, and obviously, if they feel that they're gonna be more comfortable with a $5,000 phone and neglect or not put their money towards what we might consider to be more important things, but they consider as not as important, it's up to them.
It's up to them, yeah.
It is in the final analysis and that is what consumerism, I think, is about. It doesn't just take into account your needs; it takes into account your wants.
Yeah, and your status also.
And all of that.
Yeah.
So some people are just like that. They want to keep up with the Joneses, right? And you and I may say that's foolish, but that's what they want.
You're right. You're right.
Like.
You're right.
Yes. Okay. With regards the minimum wage and so on, though, and manager earnings, executive earnings. Again, I think what we should be aiming for is balance, because the interests of managers and the workers doesn't always, they do in instances, but they do not always coincide. Okay? Of course, it's in both of their interests that the business survive. Okay? But it's in the interest of managers to bring back as much earnings for its shareholders, dividends for its shareholders, and it's in the interest of the workers to get as much as possible from their labor. And that is where things like unions and so on come in, okay, because it will eventually end up coming down to bargaining if, as long as the business is not prepared to open its books. I mean, if all businesses, public companies have to, but there are lots of private companies that don't, right? And so for those, it's easy to say, well, the business is hugging all the money for the owner, and here we down here not making enough. But if the book shows that your productivity is such that the business is doing exceptionally well, of course there is a pressure on the owner to give you more, but they don't open the books. And that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And when it comes to executive wages, executive salaries, you can't tell me that an executive who is making, let's say, $200,000 a year, and he's not going to perform because his salary goes down to $150,000 a year. I have a hard time understanding that. So
the worker usually performs, because if you've worked at the industrial site and you know of that word called quota, and you know that I've worked at the industrial site, and I've been amazed that the quota is such, and those people hit it, and the company raises the quota, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, putting more pressure, and they hit it again, and you raise, and I'm saying, man, this is like squeezing blood out of stone.
Well, it's one of the rules of management. You try to get as much as possible from the workers, so you can't hit them for that. And the mere fact that they hit the quota again suggests that they could produce more.
But that's why I said it reaches the point where you're trying to squeeze blood out of stone. At what point?
When you go too far, you end up with quality issues.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So that again, there's that balance. There's that balance. There's that balance, and there's the conscience.
Yeah.
business, what they call it in business, social responsibility or whatever it is. Basically, it means that, you sponsor, you do sponsorships, you take care of your workers, provide like insurance and pensions for them, those kinds of things, which encourage them more.
We've reached the end of this program, but before we go, I'll make this final point. If you look at a particular business, any business, and you look at the monies they make and what happens in that business, for instance, let's look at the banking system. The banking system depends on us to put our monies there so that they can invest it. They say to save, keep it for us so that when we want it and blah. But look at that banking system and look at the things that, look at the amount of people they employ. Look at the luxury of the higher level of the management. That's your money they're using, But at the same time, when you want to get a loan now, they're making it as hard as possible for you to get a loan, and they're benefiting from your money.
But Quinn, if the same the same thing apply in politics?
Yes.
Where the politicians use public funds that we generate to taxes and other stuff, right? And pretty much enrich themselves and cronies and so on. Okay? And we we know it, don't we?
Yeah.
But we still vote for them.
Yeah.
Right? We don't even ask them to show us the book.
Yeah. So in a nutshell,
why would the government take up 27 million and give to Marriott and we don't know about it? I'm not saying that it can't do that. If for instance it was genuinely to save jobs and that kind of thing, it's understandable.
Yeah.
But at least tell us it's our money. They should be accountable.
In a nutshell, what we want the people to do, the masses of the people to understand, is that this is why sometimes people cringe when I say things like the majority of the people are cowards waiting to be exploited. They don't understand what I'm meaning. What I'm meaning is, if the majority of the people only stop and see the power that they have, things could turn around.
Yeah. And it has to be collective.
Yes.
It has to be collective. It can't be individual, otherwise you'll get nowhere.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, so speaking of that, I've got two clips from the Canadian, and we're going to go segue into voices, and I'm going to be playing those clips because it shows how the established developed world is moving for unity, and what are we down here doing? So
From Canada, they're from?
From the Canada Prime Minister, when he addressed the recent economic forum.
That's going to be something to watch, really, because he's out there and basically almost all alone, because
he took off the gloves. I was surprised. I was surprised. I mean, the man took off the glove. He pulled no punches.
Yeah. That's why he got
but
uninvited.
You realize that Trump is going after him, saying that he's going to impose 100% tariff if he have a trade deal with China.
Yeah.
So you see.
Okay.
Okay then.
So we're going to take a bit of a commercial break. Well, we're going to segue into. So any parting words, Hortensia, and congratulations again on your anniversary, and may you live to see and enjoy many, many more.
Thank you, Quint. And to all, have a great Monday. Whatever you're celebrating, have an enjoyable one.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM. Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
This Christmas, add postpaid for a festive win-win. We're gifting you a 50-inch